So there is I have some utility classes I've created, which I'm just going to copy and explain the usage. So I have a report util. I will explain it. I normally use that for to report utils. Because you added the jar, let's rename it. I don't want to stay long here. Are you sure you added it long? I don't think so. Let's try and check. So all this is we're supposed to that code, there is a code I bookmark. Let me see what we bookmarked yesterday. Yesterday when we were having issue setting environment variable, we did something. So MV, okay. Let me see the to where the project is. Where is the project location there?
Document.
So let's see it to that. MV Spring so that it will download that dependency. One. the C drive. Didn't we have okay. Maybe that Apache form has not been downloaded, so it's trying to download it now. After the download is successful, we should be able to have those imports. Okay, it will bring error, I believe, because of these errors. I think it's fine now. No more error. This one will go. No error. So those error will go now. Now this is a utility class. Let me copy another utility class I have. Okay, this is just the sample. Can I bend this on? So when we look at this now, we have some utility class I've created that anytime I'm working with Excel, I will just make use of it. Can you see a utility class called create content? This is the row. This is the style I want to apply. If I want to apply, this is the text. This is the index. Anytime I want, what we want to do now is we want to write to what? Excel. We have some utility class here. We can say, okay, get workbook, file input string, blah 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 blah. So let's say we want to write to, what we're doing is we want to read from what? Excel. Now we will go here, we write a particular class. Let me call it file manager. So you annotate it with at component. Component is like this one is you trying to create it as component. You know, most of the time you have at service. If you don't want to use at service now, you can use at component. So that whenever you want to call this class, you won't say file manager is equal to new file manager. No, you just say at AutoWire on the file manager, you make use of it. This is another way to call it. So whenever we want to read, what we want to read is, let's create a method, we call it void read Excel. So we are going to make use of the file we want to read here. So it means that anytime I pass Excel file here, I will try and what? Read it. Anytime I pass Excel file here, I will try to what? Read it. But what I normally do is, I used to have this, I will call it, I used to have a class, I will say state column. So inside the state column, I will now define all the headers I'm expecting from my Excel there. I can say public final static string. What is the name of on the Excel? We have state name, state code, and what? And that says state name. What I normally do is, even when I get it, I used to change everything to capital letter. State code. State capital, right? Oh.
Code. No code there.
So these are the states. But anytime you declare it static, final static is, so I can have access to it. It's better we make everything to the what? Capital letter. You understand? So even if you have your column, you have like 10 column, you have to define the column here. Do you get it? So I have some helper method here. This one, upload file, you have it already. So you can't delete it because you are not the one that posted it. This one, process file upload. You have to create a workbook. Look at it. So here in the file manager here, you have a work. What is this? Let me just copy the code from my existing. I'll copy the code and clean it up. I will remove all those things that we don't need. What we want to do is we want to print it and see it. Don't need all this. Don't be scared by all this. So you will need a workbook. I explained the workbook, that's the Excel sheet itself. That is what we call what? A workbook. The file we want to read is here, right? We just want to write a method that will read the file. So we have the report util. Look at what this report util will do. Because we have two types of Excel. If the Excel end with XLS, it will initialize it this way to create this constructor for it. Otherwise, it will create a constructor in a different way. We have two ways to construct it. Look at it. XSF workbook is for those Excel that that's from 2007 upward. But from 2007 downward this. So this is how you create the constructor for it. So it's not anytime you want to construct a workbook, you have two constructors for it. That was why I passed the input string. I passed the file name here. You understand? So I now decide that if the file name end with this, use this constructor. Otherwise, use this constructor. Yes, I got it. Do you get it? You know now, we get a sheet. We say workbook got get what? Sheet what? 0. So it means that we want to get state. So you can put the name of the sheet there if you don't want to get it by
index by default.
I can say workbook dot get. Look at it. That's a method. Dot get sheet.
Index.
Sheet name. Sheet. I can just pass the name there. That means if I'm passing him here, it's going to be state. So the name must be equal to the name you have here. So I just created another this thing. Look at get column. Look at report.get column. I passed the sheet there. What does this one does? It gets all the columns. If you have 10 columns, it will get the columns. It will put them in a map together with the position of each of the column. Look at now. You see, I get the first what? Row. It means that it gets the first row, which is start from what? So it got all this column. As it got the column, what does it do? It now get first share, last share. So the first share here, I'm explaining the code so that you understand. The first share here is the index here and the index here. So the first share here is going to be 0. The last share is going to be what? 2. You understand? That is what this one got. That is minimum, this is maximum. You're trying to iterate over it, and what you're trying to do now, if it is empty, if nothing is there, of course it will never be empty. And if there are spaces, we now convert it to what? Uppercase. So if you don't want to convert it to uppercase, you leave it like this. So because we didn't convert it to uppercase, because when you look at what we have here, the actual value here is what is coming. Except you change this one to uppercase. That's why you now go and change that one to uppercase. Hello? You understand? Okay. Now, you see, you understand this one. This one, before all this code took me time for me to come around this. So anytime I want to upload data into Excel, I'll just use it. Now, there is this thing called iterator. I forgot to explain to you that we have in java.util. So instead of iterator, instead of follow, it will take it. So that the sheet, that it means that I've taken all the rows in the sheet and put it in what? Iterator. This iterator is now holding all the rows. So by me say iterator dot what? Next, it means that it will increase, but I want to skip the first header.
Okay. What if you don't want to skip the first header?
You can just continue reading, but you don't need the header when you want to. So I use this formula in case my record has some kind of calculation. Now let's go and see something. I will remove some of this thing. Or this one, I don't need this one. Look at how to get the data. As mean I want to get all the state name. You get it? Do you get it? If we want to get all the state name, so we state code, right? I can say okay. I can say string state name is equal to, I will just say report sorry, I have state this class, this is where all the columns are. You just use the column. I'm still wondering why it is not. Can you see it? So it means that, let me say system.out.print what? State what? State name. So I want to see all the list of state. So let me explain this. Why iterator.ask next? That is, as long as there is more row in the iterator, and as a row is equal to what? Iterator.next. Give me the next row. It automatically increases by itself. Give me the next row, move again. Give me the next row. Okay, if it gives you the row 1, it will now check that does iterator still has more elements there. Give me the next. Do you still have more elements? Give me the next. Until it finish. So if you like look at this, let me explain this now. This get data, I've done a lot of work here. This is a unique way of getting the data, because there are data you get there. You can get a number share, you can get a day share, you can get, we've done a lot of work. All you need to go and study this. You know road or get share. That is, now when you look at this, look at the row. This is the row, and this is the name of the column. And remember that I've put all the name of the column here. I put the key, the string, the index as the value. So it means that this map will have had state as the key, 0 as index, state capital as the key, 1 as index, state code as the key, 1 as what, 2 as what, index. Do you get it?
Yes, sir.
Do you get what we're saying here? So now when I now say get the data, what it will do is, what I first did is, I say, does the map contain the key?
Okay.
The key is the column I pass here, from here, because when you look at here, I already say that this is the key. I don't know if you get it.
Yes, sir.
And I say, okay, of course you know how to use a map. And I say, if map dot contains the key, share is equal to map dot get key. Because when I say map dot get key, if I get key, it will now give me the share. That is so that, I don't know, do you people get it?
Yes, sir.
The share, if I say map dot get key, assuming that the key is what? State name, it will give me what? The share will be what? 0. If the key is what? State capital, the share will be what? 1. If it is this, the share will be what? 2. So now, if I now say is equal to get, so that is, if as I pass it from here, sorry, what we are getting here is what? Only the state name. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Only the state name. It means that the state name is going to give me what? 0, right? And I say, okay, the row, get me this share. If you get the share, if the share is not equal to null, this one is just trying to iterate whether the share contain a date, or it contain a number, or it contain a string. But the bottom line is, I say, okay, share dot, I say, okay, row dot get share. Do you people get it? Look at the cell is equal to 0. Cell is equal to,
If say equal to me,
so that means this is the row I'm sending. You people don't understand. The cell of this row is what? 0. When I say row dot get share, so I can now say share dot get value. But
value now just 2
but the share doesn't have get value. It has get string value, it has get double value, it has get date value, it has get boolean value. Do you get it? So what we are just trying to do here is to iterate. If it is null, or it is blank, or it is anything, return the value to be this. That is, anytime there are cases where you don't put anything here, you don't fill anything here, it will just return, because we don't have, share doesn't have a method to get blank value. I'm explaining this now. Now, and I say else, if share dot get type dot equals to formula, you understand? If it's formula, that is, it's something of a number field. I say share dot what? Get what? Number value. If share is equal to boolean, maybe you pass true or false. You see now, and I say row dot get share. You know, if I say row dot get share, that is, if I say row dot get share, that is, if the share is just like passing what? Share at. Do you get it? You don't get it?
This last one.
Huh?
This last one. I think this is last one.
Look at it now. The share is an integer. Look at it. An integer value from here. And you remember the map already contained all the possible share. Remember that I told you that the number of the column will be equal to the number of the share you have. And 0, 1, 2. Definitely you have how many share? 3 share there. So the what I'm now saying is, what will anytime you now say share is equal to map dot get key, so it will give me the share where that key is. Take for example now, if I say get, so it will give me the share. It know that okay, the share number here is what? 2. The share number on which this column 4 is 2. So I decide that okay, and if I'm here, the share number is still going to be what? 2. But the row number is what? Different. So if I now say row dot get share, so that means if I say row dot get share, if I put 2 there, it will now get me the row. So look at it. If I say row dot, you may say row dot get 2.
Okay.
So that means it will always give me the number 2, number
Shell
2.
two. Okay. That will.
You understand? Because the share, we already retrieved the share value from the map. Do you people get it?
Is it all the row? Or one
For
single
each,
row?
now, look at it for one row. Now, this one will now iterate through all the rows. Do you people get it?
So next exercise.
Slightly.
We watch the look over. Over and over.
And your child assistant will be short of
Do you people get it? Now, I got the state name alone. I print it out. So if I want to get a city, what will I do? I can say state code. I can say state capital. So it means that I have a column here. Sorry. You understand? So I can now print each of them out. All these things that you people do, it took me time to discover this thing. I was given a task to do, so I have to create a comprehensive way of reading data through Excel. Now look at it. If the road, okay, now look, assume now that if there is another way I can do it for you. So that I think the iterator is what make you not to understand.
Sir.
Yes?
No, as in, I want to say, if you can maybe do, so that we can be familiar with this iterator too. Kalemo, why we
Look.
eventually.
Yes, let me see something. I want to.
kò short ẹ̀ down. mo gbọ́ tó sọ̀rọ̀ mo ní kò short ẹ̀ down yọ charger kò short ẹ̀ down. owó wa gbé lọ ṣáájú.
Okay, let's do it like this so that you people will understand this. We don't want to use iterator now. If I want to get the last row, we get it. Huh? I can say integer last row is equal to first sheet dot what get last row number, right? You get it. If I want to get the current row, I can say it's equal to 1 because I don't want to read the header. That is iterator.next. You get it? If I'm using iterator, the meaning of this one is iterator.what? Next. And I begin that, okay, for I can even say inside of this I can remove the current row. And I say current row is equal to 1. Current row less than what? Last row, right? Current row plus plus. You get this. If I want to get row, I can say row is equal to first sheet dot what? Get row, right? Current row. I will pass current row index. Shebi. Share you people will understand this. When the row is equal to what? 1. I will go to the Excel. 1. I will now go to the map. Get all the share. And I say, okay, get me the share what? 0. Share what? 1. Share what? 2. That is what this one is doing. One by one. That one will get, this one will get to the value on share what? 0. Share what? 1. Share what? 2. So go and study this get data. That is what it does. But it doesn't know, you are assuming that it's a string. If you know that it's a string, you just say, okay, Shebi is share, right? I can say, okay, I just want you to understand what we are doing. If I want to get the first share, right? I already know that, okay, share 1 to 3. I can just say share is equal to row dot get share 0, right? 0 will give me what? Right? Do you get it? I can say share dot get string value. Do you understand that? You people understand that? I can still say share is equal to row dot get what? Share. Put 1 there, right? So that this guy will now be set dot what? Get string value, right? So we can still come down here and say, okay, share is equal to row dot what? Get share 2, right? I can ask, okay, share dot what? Get string value. You understand? Do you understand this one? Because you know that all this value will be what? String. What if you have mixed value? You just want to write something, or maybe you write Excel whereby this column will come first, this one will go over, this one, some of them will contain number, you don't know the. So that's why we have this unique way of doing it. Do you understand this? If you want to use this one, make use of this one. This one is better to me. This one is better to me. Uncomment it. Remove this. So it's still the same thing. You understand now? So that means anytime you want to read that Excel, you pass what we read here. So what are we going to do now? We have our controller that upload a file. What we want to do now is, when you upload the file, immediately you upload the file, you now call what that component that will read it at auto-wired what file what manager. Let me just call it manager. You understand? I can ask it, this is the file. I've written the file already. After writing the file, I can ask, okay, manager dot what read Excel. I'll just pass the file there. So we are expecting it to read it to the what console. Do we get it? Do we get it?
Yes.
So let's take where is this one? Okay, we are going to upload this one. So but before you read Excel, you have to upload the file. That was why I taught you how to what? Upload file. So you learn how to read the Excel now, because I'll give you file I'll give you Excel reader so that you read the Excel. Now you are lucky you have all this so let's upload that Excel. Where? This one, right? Let's see any error that it will give us. File what? Uploaded. So let's go and check our log here. We are having error here. No pointer and exception. It has read all the state, but there is no pointer and exception here. Maybe it could be 52. Reduce it. You now go to learn how to read error. When you see no pointer and exception, it means that a no occur at what? This method. Line what? 52. You now go there. You know it is on here. Line what? 52. Look for 52 here. Do you know why? Do you people know why? Huh? Because there is no value here. Do you know why your method is not effective? Because it's limited to a particular data type. So you understand this. Let me comment this. Let me just comment this. I will now uncomment this guy because this is the normal way. If you had used this one, those errors have been checked from the other side. You will see now that we will run the same result. We will not get a no pointer and exception because that stuff has taken care of any. Whenever it is null, it has checked whenever it is null, if it is date, if it is this. If you put double value, it will return it.
All the data type.
All the data type. But you are just coming, it's just for you to understand. You stay to string. Let's upload you again. File uploaded. I doubt if you see error. Can you see it? Can you see? Do you know that this thing is not efficient? Do you know why it is not efficient? You're supposed to have a data here, a model here. Call it a state data. Right? Okay. You have a string name, you have string code, you have a string what? City. Right? Let's call it at dot data. You get it? Of course, when you read, you're supposed to return what you read. So before you loop, create a list of what you are expecting. Mean what? Do you get it? Instead of us to print it, we don't want to print. It's equal to new what? Right? Data dot what? Set what? City. Oh, sorry, it's supposed to be capital. So, data dot set code. State what? Code, right? Data dot set what? Name. State name, right? I can now say list dot what? Add what? Data, right? But this list, do you know what? This list, take it to the top of the here. So make sure your return type will be what? List of what? Data. You understand? So that at the end of everything here, you now return what? List. Because whatever you read here, you read for each data, you create this. So now here we now modify what we are going to get. When we read this data, we are expecting state data, right? Right? This is what we are expecting, isn't it?
Yes.
Do you people understand it? If you don't understand, talk.
I don't understand.
Young man, when you read, you say the return type of this guy is what?
This data.
So it means that anytime you read, it's going to give you a return type of what?
This data.
Just like if I say, if I have a string, if I say, okay, phi dot get, what is the return type?
Five.
So it means that anytime you want to call this, I can say, okay, if I know that the return type here is what? A string. I can say string result is equal to
Okay.
phi dot
okay.
get. The same thing.
Yeah.
So do you now understand it? So you see, we are coming to a stage whereby you already have it. Assuming this is your database table, this is how you map it. You now call the service that save it. Do you get it? So let's go. I will stop now. So instead of adding it into the array list, you may decide that, okay, you call your method to save. Just save. Instead of create state data is equal to this, your database table you generate as entity is what you are going to initiate there. So if I decide to do something here, sorry, let's try and load this one. Because I don't expect it to give me. Why is it still giving me? Didn't we pass it there? Oh, see our mistake here. We refuse to pass results here. As what is going to return. You people, this thing, all this thing I'm teaching you, it will take, if you want to do self-study, it will take you time. It can take you, this little stuff can take you like 4 months for you to perfect it. Honestly, you read this article, now you have a good code base now. You now say, wow. Can you see it now?
Yeah.
So this is the data you read from Excel. You see, that's why that this one is what?
No.
It doesn't complain.
Let me see this.
Yeah, I can see.
So assuming you have this thing, you have a database already. We've connected our database. Instead of saying this, we just say, okay, service.get this one dot save what? Save all. At the end, we can save all. Or maybe when you come here, before when we return it, we just say service.get save what? Save all. We pass the list there. Finish. So we are done for today.
Sir, I have a question, sir.
Okay.
You are the one that designed that was the whole post for this stuff.
Yes, I wrote you. We have no. This is it. We have the library online.
Okay.
You cannot use it the way you want. But this one, I sat down, I come up with this myself.
Natalie by anything.
Yes. This one, I sat down and come up with it. I thought of it that, okay, now, look, get all the column, put it here, so that will you find out? Can you see that? Get the first row, get the first column index for the row, get the last column index for the row, loop from the first to the last. That is what this one does. Get the share. I tried to print it out empty if the column is what? Empty. Do people understand it? So like now you are not thinking of, because I've been writing different kind of Excel whereby anytime I want to write, you see no puncture and exception. No. And I sat down, it was even Mr. Mohammed, and I said, okay, Jide, you have to sit down and come up with something. He has been having the same issue. So I have to sit down. It takes me time to come up with this. I think I spent a week or 2 weeks before I now came up with this. Since then, anytime you want to read Excel, just plug it in, then start using it. Just plug it in, then start using it. So what you do is, all this code, they are part of code you keep.